Did you know that Sean Connery was paid $1 million for appearing on set for just about 7 days in the 1986 movie Highlander? But that is not the only weird fact you didn't know about. Here are 10 weird facts that were before your eyes, but you didn't see them. Number 10. The final dragon battle. The climactic quickening was supposed to include a truly massive dragon. The Kurgan's unique dragon-shaped helmet was a great visual element in the film, you know? Director Mulcahy really wanted to use that powerful visual idea in the final scene of the movie. But the original highly ambitious plan was much more elaborate and spectacular for the time. After MacLeod successfully beheaded the Kurgan, the intense fighting would actually continue. The villain's infamous dragon helmet would magically transform and come alive immediately. It would become a huge, fire-breathing animated beast MacLeod definitely had to face next. The absolute final battle would have been Connor MacLeod versus this massive fantasy dragon. But the production budget was simply too small for convincing 1986 special effects work. Even though that fiery idea got scrapped, there was a major production problem. Number 9. The American flop, the European hit.
Nice to see you, Kurgan.
The movie was completely dead in the water until it traveled overseas. When Highlander first opened in the United States, it failed spectacularly. Critics largely hated the film, and the box office returns were incredibly terrible overall. It barely made a dent in America's competitive movie scene at the time. Everyone truly thought it would simply disappear from memory forever after this huge flop. But overseas, it was an instant and massive global phenomenon, changing everything. Especially in France, where Christopher Lambert was already a well-known popular star. European audiences fully embraced the unique style and the amazing Queen music soundtrack. The film that completely failed in its home country became an enduring cult legend everywhere else in the world. That's amazing luck. But there was more chaos they had to deal with on set. Number 8. The drunk clan battles.
He's your cousin, man!
The historic Scottish battle scenes were actually filmed amidst real-life chaos. The movie started dramatically with Connor fighting in 16th century Scotland immediately on screen. The clan battle looked incredibly wild and surprisingly authentic on screen, right? That authentic chaotic energy was because many of the extras were genuinely drunk on set all day. Lunchtime often unexpectedly turned into very heavy, intense drinking sessions for the men. They returned armed with real swords and axes, definitely past tipsy. Predictably, painful accidents followed almost immediately and, quite frequently, sadly injuring many. Real blades swung way too close, and many people needed fast medical attention constantly from staff. That chaotic, gritty look of the battle was entirely fueled by authentic, drunken Highland enthusiasm. Drunk extras are bad, but the next fact shows how the small budget absolutely failed them. Number 7. The final duel was not on Lady Liberty. The epic finale was sadly grounded by necessary budget cuts. Director Mulcahy had a much grander idea for the very final confrontation, a giant one. The final duel was originally meant to be totally epic and absolutely gigantic for the screen. He wanted Connor and the Kurgan fighting high up on the Statue of Liberty's huge crown, swords sparking high above New York Harbor with lightning splitting the sky dramatically. But that was totally impossible to afford or film safely with the current limited budget. They had to move the fight to a simple studio rooftop instead, which worked perfectly fine. The most iconic rooftop showdown was the production's cheaper Plan B that somehow worked brilliantly. Speaking of amazing work, the whole project started incredibly small. Number 6. The thesis that beat Hollywood.
Wounded in battle and driven from your village of Glenfinnan 5 years ago.
The whole epic saga started its life as a regular student's required paper. The amazing core story was originally conceived by the writer Gregory Wyden. He wasn't even close to being a veteran Hollywood screenwriter back in the 1980s. He was just a regular film student enrolled at the prestigious UCLA Film School. He wrote the entire script at his mandatory senior thesis project for credit to graduate. His professor immediately loved the high-concept idea of secret immortal warriors fighting. Wyden soon sold the incredible student script to a major production company quickly after. It clearly proved that a fresh, weird, original idea can absolutely win the whole industry. One of the greatest 80s cult classics began its amazing journey as a very simple requirement to pass a college class. That's pretty tame compared to the extremely dangerous and painful trick. Number 5. Swords wired to car batteries. The iconic sword sparks were incredibly dangerous and totally low-tech tricks. The dazzling, flashing swords are the signature visual effect of the famous movie. Every time the blades clash, they spectacularly explode with bright electricity. This was a very dangerous, very simple 1980s special effects trick, amazingly done. The props team physically wired the real metal swords to power sources directly. These wires were secretly connected to huge functional car batteries nearby on set. When the two metal blades touched, the electrical circuit instantly closed, suddenly producing sparks. This immediately created real, actual blinding sparks right on the impact point of the swords. The big problem was the swords got seriously hot and could shock the actors, which was scary. The actors risked getting a terrible electric shock just to create that spectacular, unforgettable visual effect. The danger was real, and so was the shortest working legend on the whole set. Number 4. The 7-day paycheck.
We are the same, MacLeod. We are brothers!
Connery was the biggest star, but he actually worked only one short week. Connery played the iconic immortal mentor, Juan Sanchez Villalobos Ramirez. He brought instant class and massive box office charisma to the whole project, but he was only present and working on the film for 7 days total. That's right, one single week of very high-paid legendary work from the famous star. He reportedly earned a huge paycheck of $1 million for just those 7 days of work. Director Russell Mulcahy had to schedule Connery's scenes with military precision daily on set. Connery's entire immortal character arc was successfully shot in one big, fast chunk of time. Connery proved you only truly need one fast, perfect week to make a gigantic, immortal mark on film history. 7 days is fast, but imagine fighting for months while dealing with a strange problem. Number 3. The near-blind swordsman.
Thank you. What's this?
That's it?
Christopher Lambert couldn't clearly see his opponent while he was trying to fight him. Christopher Lambert looked like an intense and physical sword fighter on set, but that was deceptive. In reality, he's actually severely short-sighted or myopic off camera. He obviously couldn't wear his necessary glasses during the dangerous sword duels on screen. This meant he had really terrible depth perception during the intense fighting sequences. He constantly missed his marks and ended up actually accidentally hitting his fellow co-stars. Thumbs, fingers, and the occasional prop definitely paid a painful price for this constant issue. The world's greatest immortal swordsman was basically forced to perform all his iconic duels legally blind. Poor sight wasn't much of a bigger problem compared to speechlessness. Number 2. The French Highlander. The supposed Scottish hero couldn't speak very good English at all back then.
Heather, please.
Christopher Lambert was cast as the lead, Connor MacLeod, the great Scottish warrior. Problem number 1. Lambert is actually a talented French actor, not a true Scot, amazingly. Problem number 2. He had barely started learning English at all, which was shocking to producers. He literally had to learn all of his very important lines phonetically for the role. The amazing dialogue coach was absolutely glued to his side every single day for help. But the slight language barrier actually ended up working in his favor instead. His slightly odd, almost alien voice just made the immortal seem more convincingly mysterious and truly timeless. And if you found that strange, then something else was completely terrified. Number 1. Brown terrified everyone.
Okay, Mr. Victor Kruger.
The terrifying Kurgan was genuinely scary, even when the cameras were fully off. Clancy Brown brought serious menace to the brutal villain, terrifying many.
Don't ever speak to me again.
He has a huge, towering frame and a seriously intimidating deep voice, giving him presence. When he wore the full armor, he became truly terrifying to everybody on set, which was unsettling. The crew admitted that they felt quite uneasy around him constantly, even in short breaks from filming. They truly thought he was a full-on committed method actor all the time, totally believing the persona.